If you think about it in terms of hypnosis, it's a suggestion. It's something. I think a lot of having an OBE is about communicating with your unconscious mind. It's like I was saying about the fears thing. If there's fears there, that stops you. But also, if there's inspiration and there's interest and there's creativity, in the same sense, that can also push you forward and push you out into an experience. So the more open and inspired and, you know, willing to kind of engage with it you are, the more likely the experience will happen, I think. So yeah.
Do you get the buzzing noise in your ears as well? It's like a really high pitched buzz.
Haven't had that.
You haven't had that, okay.
But yeah, a lot of people do describe that.
Because I get palpitations, my heart starts going really fast, and I can feel the buzzing going, this wave going through my body, and then you get this sound that sort of shoots in your head. It's like a buzzing sound. It gets higher and higher and higher. And at that point, I feel like I'm going to go, if you like, but something is just stopping me. It's really, really weird. And obviously there's something in my subconscious which I'm not aware of, because I want to go consciously, but something's stopping me from going.
Yeah, or maybe it's just, like I say as well, just letting go to the experience as well. Because one thing that is common in that kind of state that you're describing, where you've got the energy waves, you've got the high-pitched sounds, you've got all the signs that your energy is activated, if you like, but then at the same time it's not going. It's because sometimes people do one of two things. They either tense, so they lose their relaxation, and the relaxation is really important, or they push kind of with their willpower. They start kind of, they're both related really. Both create tension and cancel out the exiting process or the separating process. So it's important to, at that point, to almost relax more, let that energy just completely build and reach a pinnacle, and that's usually when it happens. And also let go of preconceptions, because a lot of people think, oh, I'm going to feel myself floating out of my body and then I'm going to turn around. Muldoon and Carrington, who wrote Projection of the Astral Body, one of the first really big books on the subject and still considered the classic on the subject. There's a diagram in that book, very classic diagram, with an image of a second body coming out, or an astral body, and it's slowly moving up into a vertical position, and it's got a silver cord, and then it gradually turns around and looks at itself. I mean, that's, you know, that gives people a very set idea of how it's going to happen. And for me, most of my experiences now happen more in a kind of phasing way, where I'll be in the experience where I'm having the waves and the energy and everything's building up, and then I'll almost surrender to that experience, and then a few moments later I'll be aware that I'm no longer in my body. I'll have the sensation that I'm floating, and I'll open my eyes like in my second body, and then I'll see that I'm in a different location. So it's almost like I've shifted from one location to another. Now I don't really even experience the separation very much, and I'm very rarely in my home now. But I think that's because there's been a shift in my sense of comfort with the experience, and I don't limit myself anymore to that sense of, oh, I need to be in familiar locations. So now wherever my consciousness wants to take me, it will just take me. So
yes. Sure. So have you ever sort of checked out holiday destinations before you've gone there? See if the hotel looks good.
Not quite, but I've had experiences where I've gone to a distant location and then that's inspired me to go there. Like the Himalayas, for example. I had experiences where I went to the Himalayas in India before, and then I became very motivated that I wanted to go there. So now I've been twice to the Himalayas in India and 3 times to India. So it's kind of really been like, you know, it ended up drawing me to go there.
Yeah. I mean, one of the big things, there's speculation there could be bases on the moon or Mars, and you think, well, you know, if I could do that, I'd go there and have a look.
Well, I have projected to the moon, and I didn't see anything out of the ordinary in those experiences. But obviously, in an experience like that, I mean, most experiences only last around 20 minutes, and it's very hard to see an entire planet or scan everything, and also there are limits to your perceptions and how much control you have. The more you try and control the experience, you have the same problem with the vibrations. The more your conscious mind interrupts the experience, the more the energies get interrupted, and the experience usually ends.
Yeah. Okay, just one last question. Do you think when we dream that we astral travel as well? Because when I was younger, I had loads of flying dreams, and people talk about flying dreams, don't they? And when they suddenly wake up, they feel like they're crashing into their body, like a big thud in the bed. So you think, do we go astral travelling perhaps when we dream as well?
I haven't found a big correlation between dreams and out-of-body experiences, but I'm sure on that spectrum of consciousness, those grades of consciousness that you can experience, I'm sure there is a crossover point between dream and out-of-body experiences. But in my own understanding, there's a few distinct differences. For example, like REM, rapid eye movement, doesn't take place when I'm having an out-of-body experience, which I've had feedback on. I've also looked into studies where they've monitored people whilst having out-of-body experiences, and they also didn't experience REM. So that tends to give the indication that it's not quite the same as a dream. Also, dreams always happen when you're asleep. Out-of-body experiences tend to happen to me when I'm in a waking state, just when I lay down in the evening. So there's quite a few factors that differentiate the two. And also, dreams can take any format, any shape you can think of, whereas out-of-body experiences do tend to follow a more structured formula. You do tend to feel yourself as a body outside your physical body. You do tend to feel that you're physically in the environment. You tend to be floating, whereas in dreams, I mean, I know people, like you say, have flying dreams, but people also equally have lots of other kinds of dreams. So I don't think there's a big relationship, but there may be some crossover point.
I mean, absolutely fascinating subjects. I want to go back now and probably try and give it another go, I think. So, you never know. To be honest, I'd be so, I don't know, so excited if that happened. I just because all those years ago, I just stopped myself from doing it because it just felt like something was blocking me, and I just made the assumption perhaps I shouldn't have been doing it. But maybe I just stopped myself from doing it, and maybe I should give it another go. But say if people want to give this a go, they can attend your workshops, can't they? And you do an amazing thing as well. You offer people different prices depending on their wage scale, and you put the trust in them to
when I can, yeah. Well, because my agenda with this was never about money. It was about getting these ideas out to people. And I came from a very poor background, and I don't want to exclude people on low wages. I mean, I can't do that for everything I do. Like when you do a residential workshop, for example, you can't do that because there's food and accommodation and all those things. But when it's a more ordinary workshop, I like to give people the option to pay, what they can afford. So, yeah.
That's honestly a wonderful thing. I was absolutely amazed when I saw that. I just thought, crikey, if, maybe other people should take the lead off that. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Well, actually, the London College of Spirituality, where I did a workshop last year, they also do that with a lot of their workshops. So give them credit for that too.
because that's one of the things I often hear. I post workshops up onto the site or let people know on our Facebook group, and sometimes the prices are so high. There's a ton of people that want to go,